Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now December 12th of 2020, and ever since the very end of the sequel trilogy, a lot of fans around the world have been very intrigued about the future of the Star Wars franchise by Disney, Lucasfilm, Bob Iger, Bob Chapek, and others on board, such as George, John, and Dave, working on these new Star Wars stories, so either for Disney Plus or for theatrical releases. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing is for certain is that Star Wars really is on the road to success. We all witnessed what happened with The Mandalorian Season 2, especially with the latest episode and the couple of episodes before that, introducing Ahsoka Tano in live-action form, as well as Boba Fett getting tons of action, as well as him being unmasked for the very first time in live-action form, apart from what we saw of him as a child in the prequel trilogy movies. Now, with that being said, what's really exciting about the future of Star Wars is exactly what they're aiming to really shape for the overall universe. They're really aiming to make it as big as the MCU, also known as the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Disney has a lot of plans for both universes. You know, for Marvel, they're doing crazy things with Spider-Man 3, like bringing back a lot of the fan-favorite villains from the original Spider-Man films from the 2000s. And here we are in a similar scenario where they are actually bringing back fan-favorite characters and actors like Hayden Christensen into the mix. So it's really a positive on both sides here for Marvel and Star Wars. Now, on top of all of this, one major resolution is that with the Skywalker saga now over, both Disney and Lucasfilm are focused on their new Star Wars trilogy of movies and more, as well as spin-off films. Currently, it's described that recently, since Kathleen Kennedy lost her creative control over the existing Star Wars projects, and of course, except for the Leslie Headland Star Wars TV series, great change has been happening over at Lucasfilm. It's described, however, that just recently Disney CEO Bob Chapek finalized the cancellation of Rian Johnson's version of the Star Wars universe, which was going to spawn dozens of TV shows, books, comics, and even video games off of his movies that would focus on an era of the death of the Force and a brand new power dubbed as the Vitality that would focus on a brand new galaxy in the Star Wars world. Not just that, it's noted that Rian's universe was going to expand from his Star Wars trilogy, which as of right now is described to be in shambles, as Disney is focused on television and tons of spin-off movies as well as other trilogies in the works for the Star Wars franchise. The finalized cancellation of Rian's universe ensures that none of his ideas will cross over into the universe that George, John, and Dave are currently working on as of right now, and that Kathleen Kennedy, prior to her losing her creative control, was also going to play a major role in this new universe that was going to be led by Rian Johnson at one point in time. Now, let's just stop right there for a second. Now, as you all saw just a couple of days ago, Disney really introduced a lot of plans for the future. We have the Kenobi, Ahsoka, the Acolyte series, just to name a few, Rangers of the New Republic, a droid story coming out as well. I mean, so many things. That's just to name a few there. And they're going to be announcing a lot more later next year in a similar event. So this really is quite something, and we're going to get more announcements also in 2022 on top of 2021 once Star Wars Celebration kicks off. So I think that obviously some fans are, viewing this as a bit excessive. I don't think it's excessive at all, because we got to remember that some of those announcements that we got just a couple of days ago are going to be pretty much event series. And that means they are only going to be one season, but treated as a movie in a sense, where it's going to have like an Act 1, 2, and 3 type of format. The thing about Rian Johnson's universe and how this has finally come to an end through getting the cancellation finalized by Disney CEO Bob Chapek, as they are now fully bringing the legitimate universe into full swing, which really started with The Mandalorian Season 2, but it really starts with everything that has been announced by, of course, Lucasfilm just a couple of days ago. Now, the thing about that, Rian Johnson, you know, I gotta say, he really did derail the sequel trilogy. There's no denying this. Some of you guys out there may very well like The Last Jedi, and that's fine. Everybody has their own opinion and all, but I just feel that The Last Jedi was a nightmarish situation for Lucasfilm. They didn't really know what to do. Even Bob Iger kept refusing to admit that The Last Jedi was the cause of Solo: A Star Wars Story's failure, in which it absolutely was. It was a big role. It played a major role because so many fans just did not want to support Star Wars at that point in time. It wasn't necessarily Star Wars fatigue, it's just that fans were very let down with what happened with The Last Jedi and were boycotting against Solo. And it wasn't just that also, it was the fact that, well, not everybody necessarily was asking for a Han Solo-oriented movie that would actually recast and not have Harrison Ford. Not everybody was asking for that. I'm not saying that it was a terrible idea or that the movie was, you know, a failure on a creative scale. I thought it was a rather entertaining movie at best, but it really did not fit exactly what Disney was aiming for. It seems almost as if, yes, this movie went through so many reshoots, in which it did, that it led to the ultimate failure because of the box office results. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon.